Hi everyone, welcome back. This is Wendy Historian, and today we are talking about how on earth HBO got away with it. First of all, yes, in doing this video I am breaking two of my usual rules, but I lost a bet! So I'm going to be covering this as neutrally and respectfully as possible. 2019, during season 1 of the hit HBO show Euphoria, a 2-minute segment of episode 3 threw the entire One Direction fandom into pure furious chaos. We were introduced to the character of Kat, a Tumblr fan fiction queen who was described as being responsible for, quote, starting the Larry Stylinson conspiracy, because she wrote a very popular smut fic about Harry and Louis backstage during the Take Me Home tour. Now, beyond the obvious issues here, like how fanfic based on real people is an inherently controversial concept, plus how the concept of Larry Stylinson dates back to October of 2010 and was very old news by the Take Me Home tour, the idea of a character on a major TV show being a Tumblr stan directioner was actually kind of funny. And if that scene of her characterization had stopped with just that description, the fandom probably would have laughed and moved on. And yet, the scene emphatically did not stop there. Yep. Euphoria decided, for some reason, to graphically animate a cartoon version of the smutfic. I have talked many times before about how Larry Stylinson is easily the most divisive thing in our fandom. So when this scene aired, the fandom, understandably, had a fit. There was even more of an uproar after Louis tweeted out confirming that the show had never reached out to him to ask for permission to do the scene, nor had he consented to it. And that uproar came from all sides of the fandom, Larry's, antis, and neutrals alike. Directioners took to social media immediately to demand that HBO and Euphoria apologize, as well as demand answers. How could HBO and Euphoria legally use Harry and Louis' names without their permission? And why was no one getting sued for defamation? I reached out to an expert to learn more.
Statement like we have here in this television show.
Now to start with, Harry and Louis are what is referred to in the law as public figures. Public figures do have what's called publicity rights, which is a right to be compensated for the use of their name and likeness.
In terms of publicity rights, here in the United States, because of First Amendment protections, works that are creative and expressive get a lot of leeway to discuss public figures like celebrities without having to get their permission.
And expressive use just means art. You know, like in a movie, or a book, or fan merch, or a fan fiction, or a TV show. Legally speaking, creators don't need explicit permission from public figures to reference them in creative media.
Okay, but like that animated scene depicted something that never happened. What about defamation?
Good question. Stacey?
Defamation law requires a false statement to be made about you. So it has to be a statement that people believe to be true, but turns out to be false. And that is not the case here in this television show.
In the scene, neither HBO nor Euphoria ever imply or even suggest that that backstage moment between Harry and Louis ever took place in real life.
It's pretty clear that they are not trying to say anything true about these celebrities.
In fact, they do the opposite. Within the universe of the show, it's stated that Larry Stylinson is a conspiracy theory invented by a fan fiction writer.
They are being very clear that what they are saying is fictional.
Now, while Louis immediately called out the scene, Harry stayed characteristically silent, and to our knowledge, neither one of them ever actually pursued legal action, which very well may have been an attempt to avoid something called the Streisand effect, which is when using a lawsuit to remove or hide or censor something only brings it more publicity and attention, which defeats the whole purpose. So legally speaking, HBO and Euphoria were in the clear. But just because you can do something does not mean you should.